A 31-year-old woman who admits to having sex with a 13-year-old boy and then becoming pregnant with his child won't face any jail time under a plea deal with prosecutors.
11 Call for Action investigative reporter Matt Kroschel is joining us live tonight. Matt, 31-year-old Andrea Serrano was facing sexual assault charges, but accepted this new plea deal to stay out of prison.
Adam, Serrano gave birth to a baby boy. She admitted to having sex with that 13-year-old. The victim's mother, who we're not going to identify in this story, tells us she is not happy with this deal offered to a woman she says ruined her son's life.
I feel like my son's robbed of his childhood. Now he's having to be a father. He's a victim, and he's gonna have to live with that for the rest of his life.
This mother says watching her son struggle with the reality he now faces breaks her heart.
What has this been like for your son?
It's caused him a lot of depression. He's shut down a lot.
Now she questions why this woman won't face prison time.
I feel like if she was a man and he was a little girl, it would definitely be different. They would be seeking incarceration. And I feel like because she's a woman, they're not. They're having compassion for her because she was pregnant. But I don't think they take into play, again, she was pregnant by a child. You know, that child was created from a sexual abuse.
Under terms of the plea deal the suspect signed off on, she'll be required to register as a sex offender, and the judge could sentence her to 10 years to life of sex offender intensive supervised probation. But Serrano will avoid any jail time since the DA's office dropped the original charges to a lesser charge that does not come with mandatory jail time.
What should other parents be looking for?
Don't trust anybody, honestly. I mean, you can't trust anybody now.
The victim's family says they are looking for the next steps in this case, and they'll actually ask the courts to give custody to the 13-year-old of this baby. Adam and Lindsay, what we do know is that Serrano has a hearing coming up in May where she will learn how much probation time she'll have. Currently, Serrano has full custody of the baby. Back to you.
Okay, we'll follow up on that case. Matt, thank you.
What's up, everybody? And you are listening to the best of the Media Mike radio show. I am your host, the Media Mike Speaks, sponsored by New Justice Media, where we are the voice of the everyday citizen. The time is now 42 minutes past the hour here in the Lone Star State. So let's get to it before it's too late. All right, good people, coming off of a spring break here. Now, I really had my reservations about this story, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. And also look for the Houston ISD news story I will be doing shortly about the state of Texas here in our Lone Star State taking over the Houston public school system. Now, that's a shocker. Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. So anyway, let's get to this story here. The double standard of the justice system. Is our justice system one-sided? Well, we know it is. And it shows this to us almost every day. And, you know, we always say it's racial, which, you know, hey, it's supposed to be blind, but it is also, I would say, non-gender neutral, or I would say biased or sexist. And here it is. As you saw in the video, yeah, this 31-year-old woman from Colorado State who admitted to having these type of, sexual relations with a 13-year-old boy last year won't go to jail. Yeah, you heard it. You heard it yourself. She will not go to jail. Andrea Serrano. She was charged by the Fountain Police with sexual assault on a child by one in a position of trust, as well as sexual assault on a child. She was facing these charges post her arrest in 2022. However, her lawyers came to a plea deal with prosecutors, which forces her to register as a sex offender. I guess they felt that would be worse. But see, if she breaks that, doing the sex offender thing, that keeps her out of, going to prison, really. But she accepted the deal. Now, if she breaks that, she will go, but I doubt it. She's supposed to go. Here's the clicker, as you heard. She is pregnant with the young man's child. which is now 14. Now, we all know what would have happened if this was reversed, as they saw in the video. You know that. We all know that. You see? And I'm going to give my 2 cents here on this because, you know, as you heard, his mother was highly upset because she stated if the genders were reversed, the accused would be facing harsher punishment. Yeah, it is true. We all know that. Now, this is a class 4 felony. It has been dropped to a lesser charge in this case. Now, Ms. Serrano could be sentenced to 10 years to life. She could be. You know, but they're going to do the sex offender intensive supervised probation by the judge. But, you know, a hearing is determined in May, and I'm going to keep up with this story here. Now, here's the question, good people. This is the question I have. How did she come in contact with this child? Was she the babysitter? Obviously, she was. Because they said a position of trust. Because I want to know, how did they even know each other? They didn't even mention that. You see, this is what's missing. And yes, this is our justice system at its finest. This is why many people today do not trust the justice system. This is why a lot of men are not getting married or having kids, for fear of getting messed over by the justice system like this. You mean to tell me that the courts have imposed child support on this 14-year-old young man? The answer is yes, good people. Talk about extortion on a child. Welcome to America. No wonder why it's crumbling. Even the young man's mother knew the one-sidedness of the justice system. This is bad. Real bad. What message are we sending here? You know, I already done videos featuring the late Kevin Samuels on why, you know, people aren't in relationships anymore, why people aren't getting married anymore. This is one of the main reasons. He's 14 years old. What is he going to, excuse me? What? This is corruption at its finest of our system. When does it end? Or where does it end, I would say? With stories and cases like this, God help us. And it seems that God is not blessing America. Until next time, this is your guy, Mr. Educator, Mr. Communicator, Mr. Free Thinker. Subscribe, share, and like to keep me rocking on the mic. Have a good night.